And now, FAIRFAX Breakfast Club with your host, Basil Lemba.
Welcome to the FAIRFAX Breakfast Club show. My name is Basil Lemba and I will be your host. The FAIRFAX Breakfast Club is a weekly program in which we bring you valuable and workable know-how you can use to improve your networking and grow your business. We always start the show with a quote, and here is the quote from this show. I don't have it word by word, so I would like to paraphrase that quote. And it goes, what if I train them and they leave? And the person answered, what if they stay? I found that quote, it cracks me up to roll and completely. If you want your staff to be competent and get a good job, you have to train them. If you do not train them, they will never deliver a good product. So you are in a position where you don't have much of a choice. You better train them, they leave, otherwise they're going to be sitting there and not knowing what you do, and this will in the end cost you a lot of money. So we just want to share that bit of information with you. Today here we have a very remarkable guest. His name is Mr. Fred Wilson. Why don't I let Fred introduce himself?
Basil, hi. I guess you know Fred Wilson. I presently work for Freedom Bank, and I work as a mortgage loan officer, where I have the luxury of assisting my clients purchase the homes of their dreams.
Very good. Excellent. Very good, very good. Now I have a question for you right off the bat. What would you say is your biggest success in networking?
It happened recently, and it wasn't so much my benefit, but the benefit that I was able to provide to another person. You know, her name is Dina Gorell. Met her at one of your networking events. We came and we spoke during the meeting. Afterwards, she followed up with me. She, at that time, Shirley is working for AFLAC. And she was explaining to me about her business and in terms of the type of persons that she feels would be good with her products. So what I did was I got the information from her, and I explained to her that I would follow up with the vice president of marketing at our bank. As a small community bank, we don't offer as many benefits as some of the larger banks.
Understood.
So when I spoke to the vice president, she was familiar with AFLAC. She had a positive experience with them from her previous company. And I asked if she would be willing to talk with Dina, and she said she would. So we scheduled an appointment. Dina went in and gave a good presentation, and it was so good that over the next couple of months, more meetings were held, and she actually had the opportunity to present AFLAC to our board of directors, and it was approved that she could then have opportunity to present it to the bank employees. So that took place about a month ago, and she was able to sign up a number of members within Freedom Bank for AFLAC. So that was not so much me, but what I was able to do for another person. So that just shows networking works. May not actually benefit you, but in many cases it's what you can do to help someone else out.
Absolutely. But what goes around comes around. So,
yes.
We know that you'll get your due share.
Oh yes, yeah. It was just wonderful just to see how elated she was when we were sitting down with her and talking about AFLAC. She was just glowing. And of course now I am a customer of AFLAC as well. I think it's an excellent product. So I think what she has, it can benefit so many other companies as well as small banks as well.
Okay. Very good, very good. Now, since how long do we network, you and I?
Oh, Basil, we go back, I guess we've known each other easy 3 years.
I would think more. I think I knew you when you had a construction business.
Oh yeah, so before that, so.
I remember vividly your business card.
Yeah, so in that case, we may be talking maybe 5 or 6 years.
Yes.
So yeah, I will say you are the consummate networker.
I try not to be, but.
Yes, we have seen you in a number of places. So yes, you remember me from the days of my construction companies.
Yes,
yeah, so we go back a number of years.
Yes. So now tell me, what would you have different businesses, you have network for your business, you network for bank. What advice would you should give to somebody in the field of networking?
Yeah, it's simple. Networking is something that it doesn't start all at once. It's over time, and really networking is building a relationship. And I always use the example for those of us that are married. When you had your first date at that point in time with your girlfriend, if you'd have asked her to marry you on your very first date, she would have looked at you and said, "Are you crazy?" The answer is no. Over time, with bringing flowers and candy and taking her out to dinner, she able to say, "You know, you're a fairly nice person." And then when you ask her to marry you, of course, the response is going to be yes. That's the same thing with networking. It's over time, you're building that relationship where when you sit down and talk with them, they know who you are, they feel comfortable with you, they trust you, and then they would have no problem referring their friends to you. So it's something that you have to be consistent at and make certain that you don't give up. At times when you think that nothing is going to work, you're spending all this time, and then all of a sudden, all it takes is just that one phone call, that one person. Then you'll be able to say, okay, now I see the benefits. So networking is key to my business. It definitely works.
Okay, good, excellent. Just for full disclosure, Fred is a patron of the Breakfast Club.
And that was because of what? Your persistent efforts in having me to become a patron. It didn't happen on the first go-round.
Just want to put that out there.
You were consistent. You wore me down, yes. And I am glad that I did, yes.
Now, what I would like to ask you is, what would you consider as the biggest challenge in the field of networking?
Again, with our work, we're so busy. We're always trying to network. Then once we network, we're trying to cultivate that relationship. But at the same time, we're also trying to get business. And once you have the business, you have to spend time in doing all of the paperwork. So the biggest challenge is make certain that you devote enough time to network. When you are extremely busy, that's the easy time where you can say, okay, I have so much business coming in that I can just take a step back and concentrate on doing something else. But really, that's when you should be consistent at it and still network. Because if you fail to network, all of a sudden you're going to look and you're going to see your pipeline, you have nothing going on. So then you have to go ahead and restart all your energies all over again. So the key is to be consistent, to always network, to always try and find opportunities where you can meet new people at any event.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit it on the nail. It's something that's very dear to me. And it could even be what you mentioned. It could even be the answer to the booms and depressions. Yeah. You know, somebody has promote, very good. The business coming, very good. Now it goes into the shop and then stop. And once you're done with the event comes around, oh God, there's nobody, I haven't talked to somebody in 6 months. So yes, really, it's, I think what we suggest is organizing yourself so you can always keep your networking activities being done.
Correct.
And that way you keep your pipeline open. Definitely. Now, I would like for you on May the 18th, we're having the big expo.
Yes.
Coming. And we'll be at the End Zone Community. It will be from 9 to 2 o'clock. We'll have over 100 exhibitors and 100 business owners and professionals. I would like for you to please give your testimonial or experience on the last expo we had.
Yes, the last expo, I was there, much to your persistence.
I'm always the culprit.
Yes, very, very persistent. So I did agree to be a vendor. And with someone within the financial business world, people can be a little different about coming up there and in an open environment talking about finances or their income. So what I did something a little different. I was able to present my new concepts called a prize wheel open house, where persons are able to spin a wheel similar to a Wheel of Fortune wheel and win some prizes. And this is what I do at open houses. And I was able to debut this at this event, and it was well received.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, that right there, it gave me a different forum where I could provide something that people were not accustomed to seeing. Normally when you come in and you see a bank, they're thinking I was going to talk about something to do with a checking account or loans, and we talked about something completely different. And so it was well received. I was able to get a number of business cards, and of course I was able to give out a prize. So in terms of the exposure for the bank as well as myself, while all the persons coming in, it was a very positive experience.
Very good. I did not know. I knew you were experimental. I knew you were doing something, but I was not sure what.
Yes. Yeah. You know, and then for persons, depending upon the type of business you're in, if you want to debut a new product or a new service just to receive some feedback, your expo is an excellent opportunity where you have a lot of people come through and they will give you various types of feedback. And the feedback that I received was very beneficial. So I was definitely pleased.
Well, good. Well, I did not know that. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's sometimes you want to test something, you want to see if working or not. You need to put many people through it to be able to assert and establish the reality of the situation. And this is a perfect place where they can come all over and, you know, they happily come and they allow you to do just that.
Yeah. So basically you can say, you can advertise it. If you have any products, you can come and have a test market where instead of paying all the fees you would for a company, you can go ahead and do it here. So it was very worthwhile.
And you get a whole reality on what's going on because you're looking at the person in the eyes and the face, you get to see exactly what they feel about it.
Yeah, and
in other words, not just a report on a piece of paper, he's happy, he liked it or didn't like it, which you don't know, but you get definitely more information from them by being able to see them face to face.
Yeah, and when you present it, make certain that you are prepared to receive some comments. I was fortunate that all the comments were very positive. Even if they were not, you know, I still would have taken that as different, as a way for me to learn something a little different to make this product that much better. But overall, it turned out extremely well, so I was pleased.
Okay, good. Excellent. So that's something that you can use then in some other arena.
Another way for you to advertise your expo.
Come and test that new product that has been on the shelves for a while.
There you go.
Now, I want you to talk about, please, we will talk about being a patron to the Breakfast Club. What does that mean? I never so far get a chance to give some information about breakfast, and you are a patron, I'm glad you are.
Yeah.
So I want you to say, what does that mean exactly? If you can just tell the audience, what does that mean to be a patron?
Well, I'm going to probably do that second, but I'm going to, as I've been talking to other persons, the benefit of coming to your networking event on a regular basis and then changing it to a patron.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, approximately 80% of the persons that attend your networking event each month are persons that have never attended at any time before, correct?
You're right, well over 50, that's for sure.
So that means only 20% are persons that come on a regular basis. So to me, if I have 80% of new persons coming, that gives me the opportunity to talk to individuals I never would have had the opportunity to talk with. So as long as I come on a regular basis, then I will constantly be in front of persons that I never would have had the opportunity to meet. And we have a captive audience. Once I realized that, it made it very easy for me to become a patron because not only will my name be in front of them, it gives me the opportunity to always have the ability to talk to persons I never would have. So being a patron is something that is very beneficial. And as I look back to a number of the clients I'm working with now, some of my business referral partners, many of them I met through
the Breakfast Club.
Yes.
Wow, which is great.
So if anyone is considering wanting to be a patron and to come on a regular basis, it definitely should be to your benefit to consider being a patron, because you're always going to be in front of new people, and that's the whole thing with networking, always being in front of new people.
And we take it even further in the sense that we give you the complete list of all attendees.
Yes.
And I like that because we know in the game of networking, we all go home, we have this stack of cards. But let's say 2-3 months down the line, they say, well, I remember making so and so, how do I find this information now? How do you find that stack of cards and find that information? By getting that list, it's simple. You just put the month. You went February, attendance, and you have the complete list.
Yes.
And I think that makes it that much more valuable.
You make it very easy for us to contact all the persons that do attend.
And in fact, many a time I've gone to visit some people, and I walked into their office, I found that they print the list, and then they're working for me.
Yeah.
All the information is there, including the email, so they can, and we want them to add them to the database, you know, because most of us, I mean, business today about having names. So they add the information database, they can create a newsletter and stay in communication with those people and what have you. It's really, any way we can think of to help somebody grow their business, we do just that.
And I think that is key. A lot of times when we come to this event, we go to thinking that what can I get out of it? You should turn around and say, what can I give? If you go there with the opportunity of give, who can I introduce you to? You know, who may be in need of your service? You know, is there anything that I have within my network that can help your business grow? If you can continue to do that, you will be well. I have a saying, as long as I take care of my clients, my clients will take care of me.
You absolutely.
So I never worry about, you know, who's going to refer me. As long as I can consistently provide quality service, my clients will continue to refer me to their friends and associates. But the key is me giving. Once you go there with a giving attitude and heart, you'll be just fine.
Absolutely. I do believe that is the secret networking. If I was to sum up networking, I would say it is the opportunity to serve.
Very good.
If you do it, you have it made. If you haven't done it, then just keep working at it. Really, it comes down to that. And I'm very candid because we are celebrating in May 18 our 8th anniversary. A lot of things we've done on the paper, they couldn't have been done. You look at it on paper, how do we get there after 8 years and doing all this, now bringing big event? They couldn't have been done on the paper, really. But it's really that constant helping as much as we can, and that's what got us over there.
And if you look at yourself, look how far your networking group has expanded from meeting on a monthly basis to now you have I guess twice a year expo, and now you have the opportunity to expand your viewership by this TV show. So kudos to you for your work. Yeah. No,
it's really the driving force, and I can tell. We mentioned Dina, to whom you gave a business. If you mention Fred Wilson to Dina, she's going to be floating on air. You know that made her the #5 agent in the region?
I did not know that.
Yes. After that deal, she became the #5 AFLAC agent in the whole region.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, so it does make a difference.
Oh, yes.
And one of the things, when you refer someone, especially when I work in a bank, when I call out the vice president, because it came from an employee, it carries more significant weight, where it wasn't someone that she received the information from a cold call. It was from an employee. So again, that made a big difference as well.
Yes, absolutely. So it was not just somebody knocking, I know the solicitor here knocking on the door. So that made a big difference. Yeah,
and that's another benefit of when you network. When you know someone that may be in need, well, when you know you can refer someone that may be in need of that person's service, it makes a difference when you pick up the phone and call that person up and say, look, this is someone who I think can be a benefit to you. Would you be interested in talking with them? That makes things that much easier.
It does, because I sometimes say, if you want to be introduced, you'd rather be introduced by a third person than you yourself. Many times people ask me, I get this question sometimes, but who is there at your event? Is that big business? Is that small business? Is that big fat business? I don't think it's the right question. To me, the right question is, do they breathe, the people who come there? Do they breathe? If they breathe, then they are okay. As long
I hope they breathe.
I hope so too, by the way. But it's really that. The reason I say that, because I had a dramatic experience some years back, where, to make a long story short, I was coming out of, when I first got here, my car broke down. Then I was fortunate that I live in Fairfax City, so I got into a bus. And sitting next to me was just some guy. We just struck a conversation. But for some reason, we get off the same place, because we found out we live next to one another. So I told him about what I do. He invited me to his house, so I do the presentation. While I'm doing the presentation, the wife comes in and then see me doing the presentation. She sits there and watching me, very suspicious. I didn't understand why she was that suspicious. And the guy told me, come back on Tuesday. I'll do the paperwork. Great, excellent, happy. So I come back on Tuesday and knock on the door. I hear some footprint, but she never opened the door. I didn't understand. Like, he was hot, heavy, excited. How could this? Some 3 months later, 3 or 6 months later, the very same car broke down again. Well, guess what? I shoot it up to the garage again. Guess what? I got onto the bus. So who is in the bus? The wife. She called me. Okay. She said, come see me. I want to see this program. She said, first, I want to apologize. You came back, I didn't open the door. I thought you was not, she was not quite clear. She said, come on to my house. This program that you have, I'm interested. I went to her house. I showed her the program. She signed up. Okay? She invited me to the church. Just to say she wanted to introduce me to the people, to the people in her church. Okay, I go. She introduced me to some guy said, we have a ministry over here. You should go and talk to the people in the men's ministry. I go to the men's ministry meeting. And then there I had found a speaker was a guy from a food company. They had 15 states. So I talked to him about what we do. He said, oh, come on to my office. I like this. I go over there. I signed up the biggest contract ever.
And I'll start with that one person?
Yes. The biggest contract I ever signed with my hand was through that woman. But if you have met that woman in the street, you would never pay attention to her. You would have said, I want to talk to the real people. You get what I'm saying? So I tell people, be very careful in networking. Be very careful. Just take them as human beings, talk to them. You never know what would happen.
Yeah, and when we look at our clients, and especially with me, where I'm always working with a lot of clients with their finances, some of my clients that I've done the most business with, you would never expect for them to be able to have that many homes that they own or that they are in the process of wanting to sell. So it's important for all of us to always treat each person who would come across here the same way that we would want to be treated. You never know who that person, what they may end up aspiring to. You don't know what position they may have where ultimately it can come back and benefit you with additional business that would help us out a lot more.
I think it drives it in a very fundamental, we are all human beings. The golden rule, treat the other guys as you want to be treated.
Sure.
Beside of the money and everything, I just think it makes your life that much more easy, flowing. If you treat people correctly as much as you can, no, it doesn't mean that nobody can make a mistake, and then you recognize, apologize, but it makes your life so much easier and things start flowing. And I think that that's what, this is what networking rests on. Totally and completely. Once you have it, as you put it, you just take care of your customer, you'll be taken care of. It's almost like a natural law.
It should be, yeah. And for those of us that are in business, especially those of us that have the opportunity to present new products and services to persons who may be looking for what we are offering, when we present it in a manner that they feel comfortable with, and that they can actually believe in it and trust us, then we know that we have a friend for life. Because that's the whole thing we keep talking about over and over. It's all about a relationship. When we can develop that good type of relationship, where we can pick up the phone and say, Sally, hi, how are you doing? I haven't heard from you in a while. That's fine. Or with me, one of the things that I enjoy is pick up the phone and talking to a client. Instead of talking about business, we start talking about barbecue. When we have that opportunity, then we know we really have gotten to that level where we really have a good relationship.
And I think everybody loves that because not only does it add a dimension to relationship, because none of us just don't want to be called or be talked to or about business. Not only that, we have talent, we have skills, and and it's not all about the money. They don't want to talk about something else, and then add a total dimension to the whole relationship. And people want that. And you add to that the heavy duty schedule work that we have today. If you can have somebody do business with, open that dimension, it's always welcome, always agreeable, is something that you need. It's almost like a breath of fresh air, I think.
Yeah. And it goes in what you always say each time when we meet, your difference between what is a person that is interested versus a person that is interesting. And that's something that you espouse over and over again. And I think that is so true. We want to make certain that we are interested in that person. That is key.
Absolutely. It's validate the person. Because otherwise, maybe I'm exaggerating, otherwise people just have the feeling they are a social security number or a serial number in the whole process. But when you call them, start talking about, now, oh gosh, I exist for him. I'm not just read as a folder number 23 or whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Which they are valuable. Yes, they have finances as part of their life, but they are a human being with capabilities, abilities, and everything else. Is acknowledging who they are. And that they love